So hi everybody, it's almost January. So we survived our trip, but just barely. I'm still recovering. Jet lag sucks. And the story about going, well, it took us 39 hours door to door. Vancouver is 5 hours away by airplane from Toronto. But 39 hours later, we missed a whole day because of the ice storm in Toronto. We flew out of London, no problem. We landed in Toronto, no problem. And our flight was cancelled. I'm sorry I didn't take video. I don't know what I was thinking about. I think I was so shocked with everyone and everything and the bedlam that I just was sort of struck dumb. But when we got off the plane, learned our connecting flight had been cancelled, we stood in line for 2 hours. The story is absolutely incredible, and actually if I go through it all, I might cut this video into about 6 different episodes, because you're not going to believe it. We stood in line for 2 hours. I got out of line, left my sister and Pat in line, and went to one of the white phones that is supposed to connect you to an Air Canada agent. I did that, talked to the agent, and said, well, what are we supposed to do? Our flight is cancelled. We need to be put on the 5 o'clock flight instead of the 4 o'clock flight. Sorry, no seats. And she said, have you got your luggage? And I said, no, it was connected. The luggage was to go forward. We don't have our luggage. It's not in luggage. It's not to come down off of the airplane. So she says, well, I can't do anything for you until you have your luggage. You have to stay with your luggage. Your luggage doesn't go anywhere without you. And she couldn't book us on another flight until we had our luggage. So we were in a line, as I said, that we had stood in for 2 hours. There were still maybe 75 people ahead of us. And I looked around the corner to where we were lined up for, and just as I was doing that, one of the 4 clerks, the 4, whatever you call them, agents, stood up and he says, we can't do anything more for anyone else. The line is being cut off at the lady with the red shirt on, who was 10 more waiting in line. Probably 85 ahead of us. And he just cut it off. So I got angry at that, and I just spoke over everybody's head and yelled at him and said, well, what are we supposed to do? You need to give us instruction. And he says, you're just going to have to wait. And I said, well, excuse me, but I was just told. He says, you have to go. He says, you have to go to a white phone and talk to an agent. And I said, I just did that. And this is shrieking over the heads of people. And I was told by the agent on the telephone, on the white telephone, that we have to have our luggage. Our luggage has been checked through. This is a connecting flight. And he says, oh, just come here to me. So I jump line. Everybody's screeching about that. And I said to him, all we need is instruction, and no one is doing anything. There's no one able to tell us what to do, where to go, or how to make a flight. So he said to me, you have to go downstairs to baggage and get your baggage. So we left that line. We left Pat with our carry-on luggage. My sister and I went downstairs. We stood in line for 2 more hours, only to be told our luggage was not there. They couldn't track it. They didn't know where it was. They suspected that it had gone forward, but they weren't sure. We'd have to come back and check, because all of the luggage for all of the canceled flights were supposed to go to carousel number 1, and there were thousands of bags. So we went back upstairs. Oh, this guy told us to go to aisle N at the airport to talk to the agents there. So we go back up, we collect Pat, and we walk 2 kilometers inside the damn building to aisle N, where I thought, we'd be helped. 4 hours later in line, there were thousands of people, all stuck. And we come to learn that the 2 o'clock flight to Vancouver had been delayed, didn't leave until 3:30. Because of its late leaving, they canceled the 4 o'clock flight hours. But the 5 o'clock and the 6 o'clock and the 7 o'clock and the 8 o'clock and the 9 o'clock flights to Vancouver all left pretty much on time. At 10:30 at night, after waiting in the airport from 1:30 in the afternoon, at 10:30 at night, we learned that our luggage had arrived in Vancouver. So aisle N was the line where the Air Canada ticket agents take care of people without a place to stay. So we finally get to talk to an agent, and he sends us to a hotel. Gives us a voucher, gives all 3 of us vouchers, which included $30 worth of food on the voucher at the hotel. We got 2 rooms. We got an airport limo to the hotel and an airport limo back to the airport. Our flight, and the first agent that I talked to after the 2-hour lineup had booked us on a 7 p.m. Monday and didn't tell us. She didn't tell us. So we're happy with the hotel. We leave the line. We go out, get our airport limo. We go all the way up to Brampton, which is like 25 minutes, 30 minutes away from where we were at the airport. We arrive at the hotel, and the hotel says to us, we don't have an account with Air Canada. We only have an account with WestJet. We can't take you. We don't have rooms for you. We won't honor the vouchers. So I said, well, we'll just take a room anyway and deal with Air Canada later. She says, I'm sorry, our rooms are reserved for WestJet. So we waited 45 minutes for an airport limo to come back and get us, which, by the way, of course, doesn't cost us money except for tip, which I don't begrudge. But, that was $25. We get back to the airport. I was steaming mad. I was so angry that I wasn't sure what to do. But ahead of all of the people in line, I just went up to an agent, and there are still like 800 people in line. It looked exactly the same as when we had left it. And I had a hissy fit and said, you've sent us to a place that won't even accept us. We've wasted another hour of time. It's past 11 o'clock at night. We're exhausted. My husband doesn't feel well. And we have no luggage. We have no idea where our luggage is. Nobody can tell us. So they give us 3 little amenities kits, and they apologize. They give us a voucher for more food at the hotel that we're now being sent to in Mississauga. They give us Air Canada food vouchers. We each got $30 for use at the airport the following Monday. And we leave. We arrive at the hotel takes us. There's no restaurant. We had food coupons, $30 a piece each, but there's no place to eat. I get it about the weather. I completely understand that. The weather can do this to travelers. But all of the afternoon flights, with the exception of the 2 o'clock flight, were on time, leaving for Vancouver. And our flight was cancelled because it got pushed by the 2 o'clock flight. That's not due to weather. That's Air Canada. And not one agent was roaming around trying to explain to people where to go or what to do. It was absolute chaos. So because of that, we lost a whole day with our family in Vancouver. We did finally arrive. It was 10:30, I believe. 10:30 local time. 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, 1:30. So 1:30 in the morning, our time, in Vancouver. Plus, we lost the reservation for the vehicle that we had reserved. I wasn't very happy. And I see now I'm at 11 minutes just telling you the first day and a half of our trip. 39 hours to get to Vancouver. I'm going to have to tell you more later. Happy New Year to everybody. I hope you have a wonderful evening tonight and celebration tomorrow. I'll tell you more about the trip later. That's it, that's all.